All right, so we are looking at knowledge check 7.2.3. And I'm working in our markdown file now. So let's go ahead and work through these. The first one is check out the built-in object pi. What class is this? So let's go ahead and we're going to take a look at pi. So I'm going to create an R code chunk in my R markdown document. And I can go ahead and run this, and I see that it's 3.141593. All right, so pretty much represents the value of pi. And if we want to check and see what class this is, I can go ahead and wrap this with class, and we see that this is numeric, which isn't surprising since we had a numeric number with floating decimal points, or the decimal places after the integer value. All right, so what happens when you coerce this object to a character? So let's go ahead and let's see what we get when we do as character pi. And we get the value all the way out to whatever decimal place this is, but it just converts it to a string, and we can see that with these quotations. What happens when you coerce it? What happens when you coerce it to a logical? So let's go ahead and let's do as logical, and let's do pi. And we see that it comes out as true, and that's kind of odd, but basically the way that R works, when you take any kind of numeric value and you coerce it to a logical, unless it is the value 0, it's always going to result in a true. So only when you are coercing the value, apparently I got some fat fingers here, 0. See, that is when it'll do false. All other times, any other integer or floating point, decimal, numeric value, it's going to result in true. All right, is there a coercion function that could convert this to an integer? What happens when you do this? Well, there is. Let's go ahead. So all our coercion functions start with as and then dot something. So we can go ahead and do that, and we see a drop down. And there's actually a whole bunch of these. But what we're looking for is an integer. So as, let's go ahead, there's as integer. Okay. Now when I do that with pi and I run that, what it does is it actually cuts off all the decimal values, and it just gives us the integer value back.